Well, I did it. You all got me to watch South Park, and it was filthy, and I don't think I want to do that again. I made an exception this time because the discussion topic was so close to what I work on, and so many people in the space are commenting on it. Now, outside of all the unnecessary swearing, there are some points made that maybe we need to consider here in this space. Let's talk about that here on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, and I can't believe you people corrupted me enough to watch this show. I will say, I still don't think that that's how anyone should talk, and I try my best to keep it at a G level here on this channel and in my language in real life. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, I think they might be geniuses, and they're probably the satirists of our age. They released a special called South Park Into the Panderverse, and it skewers Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, and also the growing skills gap in America, and also people who comment on woke stuff constantly. As a person who has a channel that covers everything woke on lots of children's programming, I took a little bit of that to heart, but maybe not so much. On a special live stream for That Park Place, we put together a panel of experts, and maybe people who have a little bit more experience with South Park, to talk about the episode, the good, the bad, and where they went too far, and maybe where they didn't go far enough, at least as far as the satire is concerned. Let's get to it. This has been fascinating to see the slow leak of more information coming out about Gina Carano's, some call it a firing, some call it a not renewing of a contract. When you pair the not renewing of a contract with the announcing of a new show, which we're going to talk about that more as well, as Culture has some special knowledge there. And also the fact that they sent out this horrible note talking about the statements by Gina Carano, which when you look at the post, maybe they weren't so horrible or very different from what her co-stars were saying. I just think this makes Disney look even worse. And of course, Kathleen Kennedy from Lucasfilm looks even worse. Jay is usually the one that Jay is usually the one from Drunk 3PO that we go to for all the Gina Carano coverage because he's got the inside scoop there. But hearing it directly from Gina Carano, this tweet, who here has read the tweet storm, as it were, from Gina? Yep. I think that's all of us. I wonder if the entire internet has read this tweet storm. Given her own personal history with the company and its notorious producer, it should come as no surprise to find that actress Gina Carano has thoughts on the South Park Joining the Panderverse special and its criticisms of Disney and Kathleen Kennedy's ruinous obsession with identity politics. This isn't Brett Cooper, but this is the comment section with Brett Cooper. Gina went on there. We're going to have to check that out very soon. Offering a rare criticism of the House of Mouse's ongoing creative implosion, Joining the Panderverse begins the film with Cartman finding himself plagued with nightmares in which he and the rest of South Park citizens, for no reason and with no explanation, have been suddenly replaced by diverse women complaining about the patriarchy. It's a fascinating thing, too, because there is no patriarchy.
There's no men. There's no men in the whole thing. It's kind of funny.
This is funny. The last time I had a dream, I was walking down the school hallway, and then I see Butters. And that's when I begin to notice that something's wrong. Everyone I cared about has been systemically replaced. And I finally want to scream. I'm like, why are they replacing every single character with someone who's diverse? I haven't used the Cartman impression for serious in a very long time. Also, Cartman is complaining, is asking his mom to check under his bed for Kathleen Kennedy. I'll take that as a ribbing here to us as YouTubers who are constantly complaining about Kathleen Kennedy. I think we have a little bit of an excuse.
She'll get you.
The tweet from Gina, which I usually don't violate my PG rules. I don't try to retweet anything that even has a little bit of swears on it, even though I'm getting a little heat for not wanting swears and everything. First of all, I did finally watch the Panderverse special, and it's amazing. The guys from South Park are geniuses, even though I can't recommend this to anyone because I try not to recommend anything that is that filthy. They're insightful. Have you guys seen it?
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. 100%.
I've seen it 3 times now.
3 times. Okay. Well, I guess that answers the question. Do you think that it's spot on in its portrayal, or is it doesn't go far enough, or does it go way too far? Just a litmus test. Vash, you first.
Yeah, no, I think it's I think it was a brilliant episode with brilliant commentary throughout, not even just on the A plot, but on the B plot as well. As people have been kind of, I saw one comment somewhere where the guy was like, "Well, I'm thinking about reevaluating my entire life because I you know this was very this was very profound commentary on my own life and how I'm not as maybe capable or as handy as I want to be." So that's a very interesting thing. But in terms of the Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger dynamic, I thought that was interesting. Where Bob Iger is, you know, as Cartman is falling down as the stock falls around him, you know, and we've heard that Bob Iger is kind of stressed out. So that's a very interesting thing right there. I will say that, you know, maybe we could have, you know, included more Bob Iger there. They did have him be very subservient to Kathleen Kennedy, which is a very interesting point. And even when Kathleen Kennedy has her kind of come to Jesus moment at the end there, Bob Iger's like, "Oh yeah, sure. We'll talk about original filmmaking and you know, character swaps and stuff like that later." So that was very interesting. But I would have wanted them to lean into that just a bit right there. They also have some commentary on, you know, maybe like lazy critics of Kathleen Kennedy, right? With the whole segment afterwards. I thought that could have been handled maybe a little bit better. I know what they were getting at, but
I think Vash, you got a really good point there. There maybe we were the little boy writing 10,000 letters to Kathleen Kennedy to change Star Wars culture. What did you think?
Well, I didn't mind the hyperbole around the arguments that are often being made that are repetitive and things like that. You know,
like lazy.
Our community. Yeah, I mean, that stuff didn't bother me at all. In fact, I thought a lot of it was, for the most part, it was really even-handed. But my main takeaway is one that I think a lot of people are starting to, if they've watched it more than once, are starting to agree. Iger did not get the kind of smoke he needed, man. He should have been served up even more than he was. But again, I have a feeling, you know, that's part two, because I think Tom's right. I think this is part one of something that's going to go on again. I think we're probably going to see that, because at the end of the episode, they call out Bob. You know, they call him out because he's like, "Well, we'll think about it," or whatever he says at the end of the episode. And I've seen it 3 times, so it's amazing, I can't remember. But I have a feeling that they're going to take some swings at that dude, and he deserves it. You know, he really does. And I look. The impact here is substantial, because as we were referring to the article with what Gina was saying, when Jay came on my show, for you guys, it's the middle of the night on Sunday night. And I think it must have been like midnight or 1 a.m. in Florida when he joined us. And
actually, Culture, I really want to talk about that, but let's pause it for just a second, because Mike has special insight onto Disney's reaction to this. So, Mike, do you want to tell people about your super special secret source within the corporate headquarters of Disney and how they've reacted to the Panderverse special?
All right, well, let's not. Okay, well, I don't want to embellish it, like, because I'm not a YouTuber, so I don't want to make it sound like, oh, in my next video, I'm talking to whoever, whatever. No, hold on. Like, you know what I know, and I've said it before. I have a friend who's been working at Disney a long time in Burbank, and he's a buddy of mine. And I was supposed to see him and take him out, but it never happened because I had to leave town so quick for Loki's wedding. But anyway, no, he told me that he hits me up. I hadn't talked to him in like weeks. All right, and he said, "Hey, did you see the South Park episode?" That's like, no, and I hadn't. It was, what was it, Saturday or Friday? I can't remember what day he pinged me. He's like, "Well, everybody's talking about it." It's like, how could you be a Disney guy and you haven't seen it? I'm like, dude, I'm not a YouTuber. Yeah, I tell him the same thing, right? No, but what he told me over the weekend was that on Friday there was talk around amongst the office that everybody was outwardly like, "Oh, this is an outrage. Someone at Paramount should have stopped this from airing." And,
what?
Yeah, so he said there were people like, everybody's like, "How have you? You know, this is, you know, like they were like outwardly discussed." It's almost like
so they're saying that the CBS that Disney should have called CBS, Paramount, or Warner Brothers, whoever owns.
Someone should have stopped this. Someone should have stopped this from airing.
Talk about censorship. Of course, on the Gina Carano thing, we're always talking about censorship.
It's like, the way he described this to me, and this is my analysis, not his words, but it's like he was describing to me like Trump derangement syndrome. You know, people like just get triggered. So, but he said that, so people were outwardly like, oh my God, this is an outrage. Someone should have stopped this from happening.
Now,
Someone should have stopped someone at Paramount. Who at Paramount let this happen? So that's what he was telling me.
but then,
in reality, on messaging and privately, he said there were a ton of people cheering. Like, there was the funniest thing that it was the now they were talking. This was Friday morning. I can't remember when the episode aired. Was it midnight Thursday?
Thursday. Yeah,
Thursday night. So it was
night.
Friday right after midnight, right?
Yeah. So they would have had access to it at 9 p.m.
Oh, okay, yeah. So no wonder he slammed me first thing in the morning. I didn't see it that night.
So not to bury the lead here, but you're saying that all of the people at Disney were outwardly saying, "Oh no, this panderverse thing is horrible. Oh no, it's outrageous. We need to bury this thing. This is horrible."
Right, like that was yeah, right. But privately, there were not everybody, but a bunch of people like, oh my God, it was so funny. They're so right. Like that. But you know, that's what you live in when you live in a Gestapo situation. I guess you can't be free. Anyway, so he was like, "Oh, did you see it?" I was like, "No." It's like, "How can you not see it? Aren't you the Disney guy on YouTube?" I'm like, "No, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not the Disney guy."
Oh, that's so perfect. I love
WDW Pro is the Disney guy.
We know for a fact that Bob Iger is very, very image conscious, right? He's very, very protective of that. He not a hair out of place kind of guy when he goes into interviews with CNBC or whoever he's doing an interview with that day. I could expect that his kind of posse and group were a little bit outraged, but maybe some of the lower level executives or people who've had to confront these issues and have been bombarded with them for years. I can definitely see them privately going, "Yes, somebody called us out."
Thank you so much for listening to our conversation. If you like this video, consider hitting the like button. And of course, if you've got somebody who you think would benefit from this conversation, consider sharing this out. And of course, if you personally enjoyed it, we would love it if you would subscribe to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.